Hello and welcome to the Irish Hunting Podcast, the no bullshit podcast for the outdoor enthusiasts. If you're into hunting, fishing, fine wines and even finer foods, you've come to the right place. So pull up a chair.
Hello and welcome back to episode number 94 of the Irish Hunting Podcast. This week, it's all about the pike. Myself and Rob sit down and chat about our recent excursions down to Cavan and Roscommon, the hits and the failures, things we do different and things we need to learn more about. Hope you enjoy, folks. Roberto, how are you doing?
Anthony. Yeah, good. Good to see you again. Buddy, we're seeing quite a lot of each other lately. We've been on a bit of an excursion down to Cavan on your recommendation, yourself and Laura's.
Yeah, we went down to Cabu cabins.
Savage spot, man.
It's very nice. Well, it's maybe our fourth time there. Yeah, it has everything that we want because it's secluded enough that you feel like you're by yourself, but it also has the luxury end of it with hot tubs and Chinese baths.
Savage.
And a nice bar.
Savage.
Yeah.
Savage. You guys were telling us about it for a long time now, and we just didn't get to go down until this trip. I think myself and Av tied in our anniversary and stuff with it in around that. You'll have to bear with us, guys, because we're actually doing this for the first time on the move. So you'll probably hear a little bit of background interference, but just to try and keep something different. We're heading back to Cabu, man. For people who don't know, it's a fantastic setting in woodland, log cabins, woodland, set up with your own barbecue, your own kitchen, bedroom, bath in the bedroom. Kind of like for those who like to have a bath in the bedroom, yeah, outdoor barbecue area. It's savage. Set like right on the side of a lake, and we got a little bit of fishing done as well.
Yeah. So there's spas and stuff that obviously the girls can. Well, not just the girls, anyone can use them, but that's what they like to do. And while they were off doing that, we were able to sneak down and do a little bit of fishing. We didn't do too much fishing.
No. First even we headed down. Did we?
What did we do? An hour and a half.
An hour and a half, yeah.
Yeah, and we caught a couple.
Hooked into a few, lost one or two as well.
Yeah.
Well, I lost one or two. Just on that, man. What got you started in pike fishing? When did you start pike fishing? First time, can you remember?
Actual pike fishing itself would have been down Roscommon. Remember, I said we had a house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I would have started getting into pike fishing because the lake was right in front of the house,
which we're heading down to.
Yeah.
Well, we're just on the way back from actually. But did you fish before that, or was pike your first?
No, I fished before that. I did a lot of beach fishing, beach casting and fishing off piers, and I used to fish the canal, the Grand Canal.
Okay.
It was actually I was mad to go fish, and my mum bought me a little kid starter thing, and she brought me to the Grand Canal, but I didn't know. No one showed me that the line has to go under the bail arm. Sure, I was at the side, there was a line everywhere, and there was a homeless fella actually came, this is a true story, homeless fella came up to me, young fella, come here, and I was a little bit afraid of him, but he called me over and goes, no, and he actually taught me the line goes under the bail arm. He set up my rod for me, and away I went.
Very good.
Yeah.
Man, that's savage.
No, I didn't catch it, but I was fishing away.
Fishing. And in terms of then, obviously, back in those days, Google wasn't around and stuff, and how did you learn to tie knots and all that kind of stuff, which you're pretty good at now?
So, fishing magazines.
Yeah.
But then I also joined as a junior member the Bellegarde Fishing Club there in Tallaght. So they would have had competitions and days out, so they bring you beach fishing and off the boats. The likes of Kilmore Key and stuff you would have went off.
Deadly.
Yeah.
So you kind of picked it up from there, yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously then you're trying to teach me, which is a job in itself. But yeah, I think that going back to Cabu, the first evening, we hooked into a couple, then we headed back up. There's like a big kind of open-sided, what was it called, like bar area, but it's covered on top, you know?
Yeah.
That would be the best way to describe it?
Yeah, so you have the bar, and then out, it's like a sitting area, but it's covered, and it has the burner of all burners, a log burner.
Yeah.
Throws out some lovely heat.
It's the size of a small car.
Yeah. But,
Four-sided.
yeah, so it's nice and relaxed. And then they have lots of games, like
Man-sized games.
man-sized games. Like, it's mad what keeps you entertained. There was a big Connect 4. There was these sandbags. I actually don't know the name of that game. But you throw the sandbags and try and get them into a hole. Sure, we spent probably an hour just playing that.
And then we started, there was like a line on the floor, and we started throwing them. And then we were looking at each other. We stepped outside the seating area, so we're throwing them over the flower beds, trying to hit the slide into the hole.
Not like a bit of competition.
Not like a bit of competition is right. And then obviously the fantastic wines and beers and cocktails and all that kind of jazz.
And we squeezed in an old hot tub.
That's right.
And sauna.
So you kind of get a complimentary hot tub or treatment, is it?
A hot tub and sauna and free drink, complimentary.
Brilliant. And it was kind of like, what was it? Elderberry kind of cocktail, was it?
Yeah, but you could have picked like
Couple of
Aperol
different
spritz, red wine, white wine, whatever you fancy.
Brought out to you in the hot tub.
Yeah.
And then you can
chill out. Reorder again if you want to top up.
Then we went into the sauna and we had a little competition in the sauna.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did, man.
You thought you were having a competition with me.
I'm stepping out. Who stepped out first, Roberts? Just saying. we were actually chatting about that beforehand. There was I don't know whoever. I actually seen a meme on TikTok. This does happen. Men are very competitive. And there was a lad sitting up in the sauna, and he was there looking, and he was thinking, I'm not getting out before he does.
100%, that's real. I do that.
I know. I do too.
I did it to myself the last time I was in Cabu. I was in the Japanese baths, and that has your own sauna, personal sauna. And I got in there and I'm doing half an hour straight. And then I start having a chat with me, now you can hack it. I'll keep going. Don't quit. I nearly passed out. Yeah.
And it was scorching. The weather was fantastic, man. So that kind of added to it.
Yeah, we were blessed.
Yeah.
But going back to the pike, I got a decent sized pike.
You did us right, man.
I would have, for age, and I didn't bring a weighing scales.
That was the one. I actually missed that one because you went down the following morning. I had hooked into one in around that same area.
Sorry, that was the next morning.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
I had hooked in one that evening, remember?
Yeah.
And there's the video of me losing it. And not too far away, about 20, 30 yards up from that.
Yeah.
You called up to our log cabin. I was getting ready. And you said, I'm going down. I knew well.
I was pulling a bit of a fast one.
Yeah. Straight down. And I was lashing on the gear to get ready. Ran down. And you had actually rang me to say, here, buddy, I'm on here. And by the time I got down, the boys had kind of come over, assisted you, and got the picture of the pike. Fantastic looking pike.
I knew it was a decent pike because the bite was really heavy and he wouldn't come up to the top.
Yeah.
And he was stripping line off. So I actually but I would have been fighting with him for about 20 minutes, probably taking it nice and handy, waiting for you to come down. But eventually he was giving up, so I had to bring him in. Yeah. And those two lads that work on the boat deck, they actually came down to me and offered to take pictures and all. So yeah,
brilliant.
And you can rent boats there as well.
That's right, which we'll get on to. But just on that point, right? This is now my pike fishing obviously has started journey probably last year. So obviously I wouldn't have caught as many as you have or anywhere near. But the ones that I'm hooking into, I find, I don't know whether this is just luck of the draw, but some of them are the smaller size, you know. But they tend to do that kind of debt roll or whatever, you know, where you think that you have them coming in nice and handy, and next thing you feel it going a little bit you think you're on a winner, and next thing they do that big splash, and I've lost one or two like that.
Yeah. The bigger ones don't. They can do it, but they don't tend to do it. The jack pike seem to break water and jump and shake their head, and that's how they can throw the spinner out.
Be a bit more
energetic.
Yeah. Because like what you said, when you're fighting with the bigger ones, they tend to probably, obviously they're expending a lot more energy. They're a lot bigger.
And they seem to dive. Down.
Start stripping a bit. Whereas the other ones kind of, you think you're, as I say, I thought I had nothing to do, and you just net this fella, and next thing, just as you're about to, breaks water and spinner gone, and you're out of luck. But look, it's the luck of the draw, I suppose. Then we got into, you can rent boats there, so we got I think it was a little 5 or 6 horsepower Sheelan boat.
Yeah, headed across the lake.
And we got the 2 girls with us.
Yeah, the 2 girls wanted to go.
See what all the fuss was about.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone could help us with this, but I haven't had a whole lot of success off the boats. And even down in Roscommon, where we used to have the house and I used to fish, the only real, I would have caught a couple off the boat. Would have been more off the bank, and then I would have caught a couple trawling, but predominantly I catch more off the bank.
Yeah.
Spinning.
Yeah, so we were, when we were heading out, we did a little bit of trawling, both sides of the boat. As we're heading out to the kind of island where we stopped, there's a little castle out in the island, and there was a lot of lads actually fishing off the bank. Remember coming up towards the bridge there?
Yeah, they were fishing for perch and roach and stuff, but there was, if you can recall, we were coming off the island where the castle is, and there was 2 or 3 boats actually trawling in that area.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're trawling properly, because I'm sure you have to set the spinner at a certain depth, and what is the method for that? I don't know that.
Yeah.
So if someone could reach out, and
that'd be brilliant. Yeah. Like what you said, dude. It's only, I'm chancing my arm. Are we using the correct spinner? Are we, as you said, are we letting it? Are we letting off and flying? Are we? Because like that, if you're disturbing the water, I would presume you probably have to have a lot of line behind you. Do you?
That's what I would have done normally. I would have let out a good bit of line, but I could be wrong. Are
people going on in the boat, stopping a little bit and letting the momentum of the boat carry a little bit? I don't know. Look, if you have any tips on that, guys, let us know. Because look, I might be talking through. I am talking through my nose because I don't know what I'm talking about.
So am I.
So let us know. But yeah, we got out into the island, which was cool. Big old castle out there, a lot of rooks and birds and stuff. And we had a wander around that. And then we headed back, did a little bit more spinning on the way back. But no joy, not even a tickle on the line.
No.
Now, and here's the thing again, man. It was kind of this weather, wasn't it? It was warm.
It was very, very warm.
Yeah. So, I think if we look at down Roscommon and out there, the most joy we've had is late at evening, early morning, midday. Tends not to be wonderful.
Yeah, you would, if I was to think about it, I would say that they're having their feed first thing in the morning, the first light, when it's a little bit cooler, and then they rest up for the day, and then if they're having a second feed, probably late evening. Because like that, the spinning we even did off the bank, all success was had in the morning. Early morning, yeah.
Or late evening. And when we got back, remember that one of the lads actually said on the kind of guides, I think you can get guides to bring out as well.
Yeah. So you can rent a boat and head off yourself if you're happy enough, but if you actually want to fish in tour, there's guides there that will bring you.
And for anyone that's worried, they give you a little walkie-talkie thing, so if you get into a bit of trouble, run out of juice, boat won't start, you can radio them and they'll come out and nab you. So it's very, very well set up, man. We can rent bikes and stuff as well, do tours, have picnics, you know.
There's paddle boards for the kids, there's kayaks, you can grab a kayak and head off.
Yeah.
But the lakes are that big.
Yeah.
You know,
it's very impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
But even the accommodation and the staff, like our accommodation was spotlessly clean. You don't have to bring anything. Everything is in the accommodation. Because when you look from the outside at those cabins, you go, "Oh, what am I staying in here?" Because it just looks like all galvanised, all stuck together.
Yeah.
But when you get inside them, They're top notch.
It's really old retro style. It's kind of on the outside, kind of cladded timber, as you say, mixed with kind of galvanized, kind of rusted, and so it kind of blends into the forestry, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And of course, I had a fantastic glimpse into what these were like. I asked, probably as I was getting closer to the trip, I was getting a little bit more. I have a little bit of OCDs for people who don't know by now. And I said to Robert, yeah, so what do we need in her? You know yourself. So that was the kind of the guidance. And then coming closer, I just said, here man, just a recon, what are we doing? When are we doing it? And then what do we need? Like, but you can do whatever you want. You know yourself. So that was it. So when me and Avril were packing, this was getting bigger. The full size, the full of the Jeep was full, which we brought like cocktail glasses and wine glasses. No need for any of it. We brought, because you have ovens and fridges and the cups, and it's just fully self-sufficient. So we I brought a big cooler box, man. I didn't know whether we had a fridge or not, you know? So, completely overpacked. So for any days going, and that's the first thing, when you go inside that cabin, it is, I mean, spotless. Whoever cleans them, and the beds, they were the most, I actually got the name of the mattress because it's the most comfortable bed I ever slept in.
I do sleep right down there.
Yeah. Avril said to me, as you know, I haven't slept really well since Christmas. And Avril said, well, you slept well last night for the first time that she could remember. And I said, I did. I slept like a log.
And I did as well. And this is how bad I was. The first night, we came back from the bar. Now, myself and Laura, it was fairly warm. So we left all the windows open. And because we left all the windows open, there was a bat had got into the cabin. And I remember walking, and we were fairly on our way.
Yeah.
And I started laughing, and I said to Laura, there's a bat inside the cabin there. No, there's not, you're only joking. Sure enough, this thing was flying around. So I ran upstairs and I armed myself with a blanket and I started trying to catch it. And then Anto arrives behind me, and the two of us, now we're fairly sozzled trying to catch this bat. And sure, the laughs of us, sure, the things have sonar. He was about 20 minutes ahead of us.
It was like watching, if somebody had a camera inside, we obviously thought we were close to getting this fella, you know what I mean? But I'd say it was probably looking like something in slow motion, and the bat was like behind us as we were throwing the rug or whatever we had in front of us. But lucky enough, he had more sense than us, and
he got out. The point of the story is, the next night when we were going to bed, I fell asleep, but she started hearing things and thought there was another bat, and she was trying to wake me. And I leaned over and just went, if you go sleep, they'll go sleep, and then everyone gets some sleep. And I just fell back asleep. She couldn't wake me.
That went down well, man. Yeah. That went down well. But they are quick, aren't they, them little...
The bats?
Yeah,
they are, yeah.
Stop. No, I think I got closer than you did. I reckon
I nearly had them at one stage.
Had them. But yeah, and then that was, I think we did a small little bit of fishing then the next morning. You went down, did you? This morning?
I did.
Last morning?
Oh, the last morning, sorry, yeah, I tipped down. I caught one the last morning as well. It was the last cast. I was trying to keep out of the weeds, out of the reeds, and I just went, fuck it. It's the last. I'm going now, so I don't care if I lose this spinner. Threw it into the reeds. Boom. I actually thought, I'm not catching a lily pad.
Yeah.
No.
Straight on.
Yeah. He's a decent size as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The one I caught actually was like that. In between, there was kind of like a jut on both sides. So it was like an indent, a couple of reeds both sides and trees, and it was kind of shaded. I like that again. A nice size for me anyway. I was happy enough to just catch a fish, man. The more I catch, the better I get. Speaking of fishing, we came down to Roscommon, down to your old haunt, and this is the first time we drew a blank.
Yeah, normally we catch a couple of pike here. But today's temperature it's what is it saying here in the car? My car's off. It did say 25 degrees. And there's not a whisper of air there, and we didn't put on any sun cream, so we're like two hunky dories, just crispy.
I'm looking at my arm here, man. It's a fine shade of red there.
But what we did notice was there was a serious amount of bait fish
Yeah.
Perch and roach everywhere.
Everywhere. Every time you went down to the side of the bank, there was like shoals of them flying around. And of course, we didn't bring small spinners with us.
No.
Our smallest ones were about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, probably.
But I've fished this now for a good few years. I've never seen that many bayfish.
No.
No.
They were literally every corner we turned, there was just 100, and they were like that. They were actually, some of them were knocking on our lures, even the bigger lures. And we went on the smallest spinner near the end. Now I hooked into what seemed like a small enough jack pike. Again, mad reedy kind of cover. Some of it is hard enough fished, isn't it, for spinners? It can be.
It's very tough I'd like to see how many steps we did, but every step is a hard step.
It's a hard step, yeah.
It's tough going.
Because you have them big reeds, you have rushy undergrowth that looks like it's flat, and you're dipping and diving, trying to carry all your gear and stuff. So like you're trying to make your way out, cast out, and then of course you have lily pads and you're trying to cast over that and stuff. But like that, and there was a decent enough wind. Like there's not a puff here, but out on the lake, there was a decent enough from left to right.
Yeah.
Especially where I seen that, where I hooked into that one. Because my lure was carrying with the wind 30, 40 yards to the right, which was actually helping me there. And I was reeling back in against it. And that's when I hooked into him. But as I was reeling, this is the fucking problem. The reeds were all around you, so they're up around your face and everything. And I was reeling to keep tension on, and one of the reeds got caught between the line and my bail arm, and like that, spun it around just the bottom of the rod. And I was trying to keep tension on the line with one hand. I was shouting, "Rob, I'm after hooking in something." And then I had to release a little bit of tension. And so once I did, off you flew. So, but that was the only kind of nibble that I got.
I didn't, not the smallest of nibbles, nothing.
You got a couple of little knocks on the small one.
Yeah, from the perch, but no pike. Look, we've caught down there. That's the first time now I've drawn a blank.
Yeah.
So,
note to self: we need to bring a range of different spinners the next time. Like, I think we went thinking that we were going to put a 20-pounder out there every time we went down. So, but yeah, I think the next one, what we're going to do is we're going to. That's just flopped down there, sorry. Next time we're going to do is bring down a range of spinners. And a big thing as well is spare rod and spare reel.
Yeah, because my top ringlet, I was wondering, I cast, the line didn't break. Now I have 80-pound braid. It didn't break. The spinner just flew away. So obviously the line broke, but it wasn't a snap. So that happened once. I didn't really investigate it. Put on another spinner, maybe 10 casts later, same thing happened. So I had a look at my top eyelet, and the ceramic eyelet had a decent enough crack in it and was fraying away the braid. So yeah, I should bring a spare rod, but also if there's any recommendations of a decent now I don't want to spend big
Huge
money on a spinning rod, but a decent high quality spinning rod that's reasonable.
Yeah.
If anyone has any ideas. That's hard wearing, because I wouldn't be the easiest, not like yourself.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be the easiest on gear.
So like by the time we got back up to the van, it was just literally just through the rods.
Yeah.
We're hard men. Well, yeah, it's hard men on gear, unfortunately. So yeah, a decent. The ceramic eyelids, yeah. There's steel and ceramic. Is that correct? It's rubber.
Yours are steel.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine are like a ceramic material.
Yeah.
I actually don't know exactly what type of material it is, but it feels ceramic.
Yeah, and which is better again? That's is there. And you had decent line. You were braid on yours, did you?
Yeah, I had 8-strand braid.
Yeah.
On mine, and 80-pound.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't cast as far, but I know if I hook into something big, I'm happy enough.
And we had I tried every spinner, man. I lost 2 or 3 spinners again today. I was trying the little wiggle baits,
swim baits. Yeah.
And then the ones the
plugs.
I
tried everything I have. Thank God I only buy them off Temu.
Yeah.
Because they're not big money, but they work just grand.
Well, yeah. The only thing I didn't bring out, and you had one at the end I seen, it's little jelly baits. So
Yeah,
because I like
plastic
them.
baits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they move, well, just to me, I was looking at you casting. It's more of a natural motion, isn't it?
Yeah.
The other ones kind of do that, the shimmer, which is, look, I'm sure they all work. When I was looking at yours, I said, oh, I like that one a little bit.
Yeah, I have to get more of them.
Yeah.
They're just hard to get in Temu.
I actually have a few of them at home, but I didn't bring everything I had. Because again, I didn't, and I forgot my vest. It's raging.
Vests, right. Someone actually put up a comment, Temu vests, they're shite. But I tell you what they are handy for. I don't think they keep you afloat if you went in.
We'll have to test that. Rob's going to do a test on that now.
Rob's not doing any test. But they're handy for storing gear. So everything is on your body or on your back.
Yeah.
Even just water bottles, anything. That's what I find them handy for.
I completely forgot mine coming out, which I was raging about because I had my my pliers and everything in it. Like that, you need scissors, a Leatherman, your few traces and stuff. As you say, a bottle of water, which is important today. So it just is handy for that.
Spinners, pliers in case you get a hook in yourself.
Yeah,
There's
that kind of gear. Now, on saying that, I still didn't bring enough. But look, every time you go out, you kind of learn, do a little bit different. Next trip, dude. What are we looking at? We're going to do a bit of sea fishing down with Kevin.
Yes, we're going off the boats down in Galway, which I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, it's always a
June,
good day with
July.
Kevin.
The mackerel should be in.
Yeah.
Mackerel should be in by then. We'll see what we manage to pull in.
I look, I think we've never drawn a blank with Kevin. He always puts you on a few fish. And what we like about him is we only take what we use. And he'll only allow you to do that anyway, you know. He'll be always kind of cognizant of, right lads, do you have enough there now? That, you know what I mean? So it's a nice day's fishing. You get a nice few fish out of it. We'll nip across, have a few pints, hopefully. Is that Inishmore or Inishman? Inishman, is it?
Inishman, I think.
Man, yeah.
The beaches on that island.
Savage.
And I've said for the last 2 years, I'm going for a swim.
Yeah.
100% this year, I'm going for a swim in that water.
Well, this is what we're going to do, I think. Because for the last 2 years, we've arrived up at the pub smelling of fish guts and so on. So what we'll do is we'll throw the gear in a bag, bring it across. After we've all the gutting done, we can go for a quick swim, bring a towel, then your bit of shampoo, have your jazz. I'm back in your fresh daisies.
You might as well be in the Bahamas looking at that beach. It's maroon blue, it's beautiful.
And what we've done actually the last 2 years is we went for a swim on the pier when we came back in.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to do that differently this year, yeah.
That's the next fishing trip. I still want to get out on the smooth hounds, but I'll leave that till probably the end of June, maybe July. Get out and see if we can catch a couple of bass and a couple of smooth hounds.
Yeah. And we might even squeeze in a little trip into Galway in between, maybe.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there. And then we have some cool guests coming up, right? So we're gonna obviously in the next couple of weeks, obviously we've had Chris Brady lined up. That's a really cool interview. Looking forward to that one. And that's going to bring a whole different dynamic to the podcast, I think, with horses and stuff like that. So
I'm really looking forward to this one because I know Chris and Sarah personally, and some of the conversations I hope it comes across. Because for anyone who doesn't know, sometimes you can talk to people and they're brilliant. Like, they've so much knowledge.
Yeah.
As soon as you put a mic in front of them, that's it. It just doesn't go the right way. But when I say these two have knowledge, I mean proper knowledge.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's an interesting one.
Yeah. Like I'm looking forward to it because it's one of the reasons starting the podcast was I knew little bits about different things. I was to find out more, gain more knowledge, gain more experience, obviously in shooting, fishing, and like that, horses is one of the things that's intertwined in country sports. It's intertwined in hunting, and like that, to know more about it and to support each other. I mean this both ways. Gone are the days where I think, this is my opinion, where we can be them and us and that kind of stuff. All of our sports are under attack. They're from various segments, and I think we need to find out a little bit more about each other. I think we need to know more about each other, and to do that, we need to sit down with them and have a chat, and vice versa. Hopefully, by Chris coming on, that'll bring a swathe of
equestrian
to get to know a little bit more about our side, and vice versa. And I think Chris and Sarah, they go over to the 4-6s. Is that correct?
Yeah, they go over to the States, over to the 4-6s and other ranches and work.
Yeah.
I mean, and train horses and teach people horsemanship over there.
Yeah. So like that's the kind of the level, and for a small country, we know all about our record in equine sports. So it's a privilege and an honour to have people of the calibre of Chris and Sarah on. So,
and even just because we're talking about the horse, but there's stuff to be learned from them that transforms into our sports.
Yeah.
For instance, he trains horses. People train dogs in our sports.
Yeah.
So there has to be some crossover there. Now I know one's a prey animal, one's a pack animal, but there has to be different even mindsets or ideologies that could transfer across.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
But look, we'll see if any of that does actually transfer, or I'm talking absolute rubbish.
But that's an interesting point, Rob, because look, you're heavily involved in dog training. Your family is intertwined in it as well, and you've seen kind of firsthand, some of the best trainers in the country, and your own father-in-law is up there in the top echelons of that. So it'll be really interesting to see, is there a thread between both sides, and I think like that, similar to the shooting end of it, there'll be threads and things that'll be coming among them. What hopefully we'll find is that there's even though completely different kind of sports, that there's similarities there between, that we can find common ground.
Yeah.
As well as that, we're hoping for anyone who hasn't seen the YouTube stuff, we're doing a lot more reviews, and we're going to continue to pump them out on our YouTube channel. So you go over there and have a look. That's probably something we want to do, is we want to go through most of our gear first, show people what we're using, and this will be an evolving thing. It won't be, here's what we're using, you should be using it too. Have a look, see what you think. You might say, I might take that piece of gear, or can that bit of gear, can you get something like that does this? You know what I'm saying? So, like for instance, this morning we were chatting about bino pouches, and I actually have your old Herkilla one, which is really cool, fantastic, and a quick attach and quick detach, and magnetic, which we'll do a little bit of a review on. And I'm actually after switching back over to the Vortex front pouch to see how we get on with that, because it has a little pouch for my bipod and torch and a few bits and pieces like that. So like that, it's where you're all the time evolving, isn't it?
Yeah, and like what you said there, just because we do a review on it, and to be honest, if we're doing reviews, there'll be honest reviews. Nothing, well, I'm sure you can find something that's perfect for you, but there's very few things that are like that. So most things will have, these are the things we like about it, these are the things that we don't like about it. Yeah. So you pick and choose if it's for you. Yeah. But going back to what you were saying about your kit and your setup. Yeah. So I have a nice enough bino harness, and I have on the left hand side me Spartan bipods. But even in the review I said, if you don't use those legs properly, they make noise. Yeah. The pouch I have it in is too tight. So when I pull them up, they go click, 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 click. Pull up the legs. Yeah. So it'll give away, if there's a deer in, let's say 50 metres, it's going to hear that, and then I'm snookered. So I'm actually changing to underneath, and you can have that pouch for yours, because yours don't click like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and again, we'll do the difference between the two sets as well. So that'll hopefully be something going forward. That if we're going to have enough gear up there, that if people are buying a new piece of gear, that hopefully you'll have a couple of options there to have a little look and say, oh yeah, that does that. That doesn't do that. I don't want that, or whatever. And we've plenty of gear to get through. So I came across. We still have another set of sticks to review. They're the dual leg one, and I actually have a single leg one as well, up and down. So they're all things that, especially for old school hunters, they might be better than the quad sticks.
yeah.
I know old school hunters who make up their own single stick, rest, bang.
Some people still use the antler, the deer antler on the top,
Yeah.
the V, and they just shoot off that.
So
But we will get better at these reviews. For some reason, lads, when I stick on the mic to talk, doing a review, it's like I can't speak anymore. I can't string a fucking sentence together.
it was funny. We had done a podcast, I think last week or the week before, and I was doing the intro, and like that, I don't know how many takes it took, about 10, didn't it?
Yeah.
And I found exactly like what you said there. The minute I go to speak into it, everything that I wanted to say kind of goes jumbled. So so it takes me, and I've tried writing it. I've tried, having a kind of like a script that I was gonna, but I find then that doesn't flow naturally, and then so I end up just doing. I've in my head now, just going to take 10 takes. So just do it, and I'll find the nice one somewhere in between.
It's a nightmare. You have to get better at that. Like I do.
Look, I don't. Sure, this is completely foreign, dude. Do you know what I mean? This is not where we're. If we're saying that, we're an outdoors people, this is the other side of that. On saying that, podcast just hit 100,000 downloads last night, I think. So thanks to everyone who downloads. I don't download anything, so obviously there's a nice following who do, and that gives a good indication of how many people actually listen to the podcast, because it's a multiple of that number that actually tune in, which is phenomenal for a podcast coming from the Midlands of Ireland. It's phenomenal. So thank you very much for your support. We have some really cool stuff. We have a website coming, which we're starting to put into process, and we've some new trips to plan. So stick with us. You happy enough with that now?
Happy enough with that.
We'll get back on our way.
We will. We'll hit the road.
Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Stay safe and stay hunting.
Thanks, folks.
Over and out.